Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a Project Pan update for you. I have had quite a bit of movement in items that I have finished off. So I'll go ahead and leave timestamps down below so that way you can ping pong around to the categories you want, but I am going to start with items that have been finished off. Number one is my current setting spray that I have been working on. It's the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Prep and Set Water Mist in the Rose scent. I'm just a rose kind of gal. And I am actually a little bit surprised that I finished this off. I was at this mark at the last update, and based on my previous update progress, I figured I would have one more go around with this, but I just worked through it. I thought it was a pleasant, hydrating type of mist. I like these types of mists for around like the winter months because my skin can start to look a little flat and dry, and this just helps bring some life to it. I do not use products like this in the summer months because I'm not looking for any more hydration. It's muggy enough in my climate. So I'm happy to have worked through this. It was basically a brand new item when I started the challenge, so really happy with that. I am not yet ready to switch away from this, so I do have another hydrating one that I'm really hoping to finish off before we move into the warmer weather. Second item that I finished off was my primer. This is the number 7 Skin Illuminator, a natural looking radiance for a beautiful glow. I also had, it looked like a lot of product left in here, but I had an air pocket, and once I got past that, there wasn't a lot of product left. I actually really like this product, similar to the setting spray that I was trying to use. I like to use these types of more glowy or hydrating primers in the wintry months because again, it helps combat dry looking or flat looking skin. And what I appreciate about this is when you'd apply it to your skin, it would leave you glowy, but not too metallic or Tin Man shiny. That's not my favorite. It would just give me like a nice sort of shimmery glow that when I would put my matter or flatter type of foundation over, it wouldn't like shine too much through, but it would help just give my face a little bit of healthy glow to it, which it's so very much needed. So I don't think I'd rebuy this because I feel like I always tend to have So I always come across like some kind of product like this, either as a 100-point perk or as a sample or somewhere along the way. Like this came in a number 7 like kit that I had purchased, like a whole 12 thing kit. So that's how I ended up buying it. So I'm not sure if I would get it again, but I did like it for this purpose. Other item that I finished was my concealer. I've been using the Instant Age Rewind Eraser Multi-Use Concealer in the shade 110 Fair. I was here at the last update and obviously have finished this off. This is a really satisfying product to use up, but not only because it's a concealer, which you don't use a lot of the product, but you can see yourself getting every last drop, and I love that. I really do wish more concealers were packaged like this. I know some people don't feel like this sponge is the most sanitary, but I look at it as it's no different than a doe foot applicator in my opinion, and I like that I can get the product with no problems. I find with a lot of other concealers that have the stopper, I eventually have to take the stopper out to get down into the actual remnants of the product, which is kind of a pain. So I appreciate its packaging. I like this a lot. I have a whole nother one of these waiting for me, but I'm trying to sort through a bit more of the open concealers that I have to see if there are any that I want to try to finish off first before pulling a fresh guy out. But I'm willing to bet when I do pull a fresh guy out, I'll bring it into the challenge so I can see start to finish how long does one of these concealers take to use up. I'm also really happy to report that I finished off an eyeliner. This was the IT Cosmetics No Tug Waterproof Anti-Aging Gel Eyeliner in the shade Black. This was a twist up. I actually blew through this. I found this a lot, I feel like with twist up eyeliners, I go through them really quickly. I would not say this was the creamiest. I think it had dried out a little bit, but it was manageable. It was a very long lasting eyeliner. Like this was not going to budge, but it came off really easily with my cleansing balm. Big fan to have worked through this and happy to have one less pencil liner. I feel like at this rate, if I keep going, I'll use up all of these types of pencil eyeliners this year, which will be awesome because I've only acquired these through mostly subscription boxes and I don't get them anymore. I haven't for a couple of years now. All right, I'm feeling a little sassy, so we're going out of order than typical. I'm going to talk about the new items that I'm bringing in. I don't have that many. I only have 3. I'm at this like junction right now in my panning world where I have finished off some go-to items and I've replaced them with new things. Like I have a brand new bronzer. I am not quite sure yet what new face primer I want to use. So I don't really know where the project is going to be headed once I do finish off the items that are currently in the challenge. So I was looking at what I wanted to work on next that was somewhat manageable for finishing off, and this is what I came up with. First one that I have is a lip gloss sample or deluxe size sample that I have. It's from Laura Mercier. This is basically a shade that I'd say in the last 3 to 4 months, every time I film, you're seeing me wearing this. I used to keep this in my purse, but I don't really keep lip products in my purse anymore aside from chapstick, because with mask wearing, once I leave my house, I don't reapply anything besides lip balm essentially. So I took the stopper out of this because I felt like I was having a hard time getting sufficient product on the doe foot applicator. So now I'm in that weird phase where I'm getting way too much product on the doe foot applicator, but I don't really mind it because it's on my vanity. It's not that messy. I am pretty gosh darn down low on this. I think this gloss is really lovely. I like the texture of it. I like the look of it on my lips. It's not the juiciest looking lip product, which I tend to go for really juicy looking lip products. I love to have just a really juicy glossy lip. It is, that is the look I am always going for, but I think it's really pretty and it pairs really well with my MAC lipstick that I tend to go to right now as my go-to lip look. If I'm not wearing like a golden type of eye, I think this is a very nice neutral. I would like to finish it off. I want the satisfaction of that, which is why I'm bringing it in, but I do think it'll last a while because I'm only applying it once a day. In a plot twist, I decided to bring in another eyeliner pencil. I really was adamant at the end of 2020 that I would switch off between a felt tip and a pencil liner, but at the start of the year, I realized I had a bunch of eyeliners that were basically fading on me. They were drying out, and even though they're a pencil and I can sharpen them, I still just wanted to get them used up. And I find that I can get them going and used up pretty quickly, especially these smaller size guys. So I'm bringing in the Sephora, it's got 1,000 words on it, the Crayon Contour Eye Pencil 24-hour wear in 01 black lace. It's a matte. We're gonna go with the pinky system again. So you can see here, it is just above the end of my pinky nail there. I think that this will be a couple of months and it will be gone. I do think it has good lasting power. I will say I have to sharpen it often because it wears down pretty quickly, which is not a bad thing. I do have another one of these to finish off once this is done, so we'll see where we go with it. And my last new item that I'm bringing in is another rose setting spray. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Rose 3-in-1 Primer Water. It's for prepping, setting, or refreshing. I use it as a setting mist. I am probably about halfway on this. I'm having a hard time seeing through the white in here. I'm gonna try to get a brighter light to be able to draw my mark, but I really, really want to finish this off before I switch over to more of my stick it to my face type of setting sprays. I have, I think one more in this category that's on the older side and it's bigger than this. And I don't think I can finish it off before the seasons switch over on me. So I'd like to get this done with that way. Once we get into winter of next year, not that I'm chomping at the bit to get there, but once we get there, I will be able to finish that off before the year is over. So fingers crossed that I can get this done lickety split. Last category for this update are the items that are giving you a progress status update on. We are going to start with some sad news, and that is a retired product. I'm officially going to retire my Sephora Crayon Contour Eye Pencil 12-hour wear, waterproof in the shade Cocoa. I am just not reaching for this, and in fact, I feel like this might not still be good. I find that it is a little bit difficult to apply. It's not applying as opaquely as my matte one it does, my matte black one, and I feel like this used to be really opaque and the lasting power is a little bit tough. In my last update, some of you guys suggested that maybe I could set it with eyeshadow, but I don't have a lot of matte brown eyeshadows like this, so I'm just not sold on that experience. So I'm gonna retire it, and if I find myself like I did back in the summer going for a lot of really bronzy looks and wanting to bring in brown, I can bring this back. But for now, I'm just gonna go ahead and spare you from the update because there is no update. I think I've used this maybe once or twice. Definitely haven't resharpened it since the previous update for it. Okay, some exciting update news. It is in the foundation category. So after my last update, a lot of you were like, oh girl, with your Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte, you can definitely pry that lid off if you just work at it. And I did. And I have to tell you, when I finally did that, I realized I was much deeper in the product than I realized. I essentially used my beauty spatula once I popped the top off to scrape along the side until it was submerged. I could see through the glass where it got submerged. This is where I'm at. I really want to be done with this because as it starts to get warmer out for me, I'm less inclined to want to wear as heavy of a foundation. Like, this is a full coverage foundation for me. It is probably the most makeup-y foundation I have been drawn to or used in a long time. It does pair well with my ColourPop one, which is why it's been able to survive, because on its own, it's not the greatest color match for me. And it is a pretty heavy foundation, but mixed together, they're a pretty good balancing act, both in color and in heaviness on my face. Speaking of my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation in the shade Fair 05W, I have a little bit of progress. I know with both of these, if they were in the project on their own, they would be done by now, but because they're being mixed, I basically do a pump of each to get my application. It is prolonging it. I'm really, really hoping by the next update that at least one of these is gone, but of course, they're not a good color match for me on their own. So once one goes, the other one will have to just wait for another purpose or be decluttered, because I don't see myself getting them entirely finished separately from each other. Have some movement here on my Revlon Photo Ready Concealer. My objective with this from the previous update to now was to try to level off the concealer. You can kind of see it's at an angle right now, which does make it hard for marking purposes. And truthfully, I don't think it needs to be at an angle. It's not a lipstick. I'm not applying it in an area where I need a lot of precision. If I need it that badly, I'll use a really sharp pointed concealer brush. But either way, this is where I'm at. I'm pleased to see I do apply this every day on blemishes or areas where I have a bit more redness than other areas where I just want to make sure there's extra coverage. I like this a lot. I'm pretty happy with this product. My update, I'm happy to say, is not too terribly aggressive, which I know sounds strange because this is the whole product of using product up, but I was weary of buying this. It was, I think, $10. It retails for $9.99 at my local CVS. I had a coupon and a sale, so it was much cheaper than that. But I thought to myself, there's not a ton of product in here. So if I'm whipping through this really fast, it will add up to as much as what one a year maybe would cost if I was getting a potted cream concealer. I know the NARS potted concealers are what a lot of people rave about. I do like this, and I'm happy to see that it's not moving too fast, because it means that not only is it a good value, it'll last me a long time and thus not cost more over the course of a year or over time compared to getting a potted, more expensive at the first go around concealer. Speaking of potted things, I have my MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot in Painterly. I'm also happy to report that I don't think my progress, let me get real close for you. I don't think my progress is too aggressive. I was really worried when I first brought this in that I was going to plow through this, but it kind of has worked itself out. It's gotten a bit more emollient as I've gotten deeper in there. So I'm finding that I'm needing less product to be able to help balance out my eye area, which is nice. I'm still really enjoying this. I've yet to find a sustainable drugstore dupe that is a true matte. I know I got some flack last time that some of you said that you could find them from Maybelline, but there's no Maybelline that I've seen in a Walmart, a CVS, or a Walgreens that has a matte cream this color. I'm sure it exists, but it doesn't seem very accessible to me, and I'm not looking to have to buy online all the time, because I feel like with Amazon, it can be very hit or miss how often that's in stock. The Maybelline website, I don't want to have to buy it from there all the time. If it's not available to me very easily in a store, I'm less likely to want to adopt it into my routine. So as it stands right now, this is what I'm working with, but I'm happy with it. In regards to primer, I did have my Milani eyeshadow primer as a brand new item, hadn't been used before, and since that time, I have gotten to this point. I definitely feel like it's a bit deceptive because there is a lot of product being like vented down here. So I definitely think that once I get to the mid-range point, it will start to slow down on progress because there's a lot of product packed into the base of the tube. This stuff is great. I am not even interested in trying anybody else's primer at this point. I've tried a lot of different ones, but this is just the best of the best. For highlighter, I've been working with the Lancome Glow Subtle Silky Cream Highlighter in Glowing Lights, shade 06. I'm not sure you're gonna really see a ton of change in this one. I say that because I just haven't been doing a lot of go-to gold eyes. I've been really into like the cool tone looks lately, less of the warm golden looks. I have a feeling once the weather changes, that MO will change, and once my Pirates palette starts to shift a bit more, I'll probably really aggressively lean into gold. But for now, I'm all about this cool, easy looking, icy type of eye. I'm just an iced queen and I'm thriving, but I don't want to retire this yet because I really do want to see this all the way through. Then we come to my blush, my Rockateur Benefit Box Blush. This is what we're working with in here. I will tell you guys that I do like that I have so much of that great showing, but I feel as though the great is actually making it hard for me to make more progress on this. I'm finding that when I go to dip my blush brush in here, that I'm having a hard time getting into like the sides where I have product built up. So I have decided that I am going to dismantle this, and I have a like large face pan that I will be repressing this into because I think at this point I'm tapped out at what I can do effectively with this. Like I just don't think at this rate I'll be able to get enough progress to finish this before the year is over. And I just am tired of having to like really work so hard to get product when I know if it was just a thin layer, I'd work through it at lightning speed. So I'm probably going to do a separate video about how I repan this because unlike other repressing where I've repressed it inside its original packaging, I don't have that to work with here. So I'm gonna be repressing it into something else. So I'll document that for you guys. So this will be the last time you'll see it in this format because it just isn't working. And I've noticed, I don't know why this is, I have another box blush, Coralista. I actually hit pan on that, like I don't think a couple months ago, and that's a silver pan. So I don't know why this is a great and that one's like a regular like square pan in there. I'm not sure the difference in there, but this great thing is just not my style. Whew, okay, bringing it to a close. The last item that we have is my Trader Joe's Almond Cream Moisturizing Lip Balm. So I don't have like an aggressive amount of progress on this for how long it's been between updates. This is how much lip balm I have remaining. I just find that unlike the chapstick one that was in the same format, this is less emollient. It's still a good lip balm, I like it, but because it's less emollient, I'm not blazing through it. This is what the update progress mark looks like here. And so we'll see. I also took a break. I think there was like a week and a half period, maybe 2 weeks, where I was using a pill pack sample that took me a lot longer to use than I thought it would. So it's a nice product. I'm enjoying it. And we'll just see how many more months we have with this guy. Whew, okay, that was a lot of update, some healthy items that I finished off, some good progress in other areas. I'm curious to see where I'm at in the next update with you guys. As always, thank you for being here and watching, and I'll talk to you in my next video.